Okay, hello everyone. I'm glad to see everyone here at Virtual Broker Tour. I thought I would take this as an opportunity to start doing some of the messaging and training for this new system launch. Today, I'm just going to give you the broad strokes and show you some things you need to be aware of to be prepared for the 19th. That's like 2 weeks away. So 2 weeks from now, you're going to go from having just the data for San Francisco to having all the data for the entire Bay Area. And you're going to have that right in your home MLS system. That's going to be pretty awesome. You're not going to have to single sign on to other systems. You're not going to have to pull reports from multiple places. We're super excited about this. It's about 4 years of work finally coming to fruition. And so I'm going to show you some tips and tricks right now on how to be prepared when we get to the launch. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you can see a blog post that I've been writing this morning. It's the What Should I Do Today blog post. And I'm just going to show you the 5 key things you need to think of as we get ready to launch this thing on the 19th. So things you need to think of as we get closer to launch. 1, ensure that any new listings you take between now and the 19th, make sure you put them in the San Francisco MLS system. The San Francisco MLS system is going to convert all your listings into the new system, and that's going to happen auto-magically for you. But it's only going to work perfectly if you have your data in the San Francisco MLS. So even if you take a listing out in Novato, or maybe you're working in the Valley, maybe you've got something near Sacramento, still put a copy in SFAR MLS to make sure that you've got a native copy. Those listings will convert into the new system. Secondly, if you have listings that are only in Paragon, or only in MLS listings, which is south of us, that's San Mateo and further south, you should be ready to withdraw those and re-input them after the 19th. Now you could put them in now. I mean, you could make a copy now, and then you just have to withdraw the one in the reciprocal system. And the reason we need you to do that is because you're going to not have single sign-on anymore. You're not going to have to. You're going to be able to put listings anywhere in the Bay Area into our new system without having to use single sign-on. So any listings you currently have only in a single sign-on system, you're going to need to be ready to withdraw those using using the cancel status in both Paragon and in MLS listings. You should be ready to do that on the 18th or the morning of the 19th. Thirdly, I want you to not lose contacts and searches. So if you have built contact profiles, they may be called prospects in those systems. Or if you've created complex saved searches in those systems like Paragon, it will not convert or suddenly show up in the new system. You're going to need to document those and bring them in yourself by recreating them. We're going to give you guides on how to do some of this stuff in the coming days. Next, I want you to make sure that if you've set up a client portal in Paragon or MLS listings using those technologies, none of that's going to convert. So if you're currently working with a client, and this is like, hot, this client's right in the middle of looking at properties, you don't want to lose that touch. So make sure you save any information from those reciprocal systems before single sign-on access goes away on the 19th. And then lastly, I want to make a note about one-line grids. I don't know about you guys, but I run searches all the time, and I change the fields depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes I want to see the neighborhood, sometimes I don't care. So I've customized my one-line grid results. When you run searches, it comes back as a one-line grid. If you've done that in our home system and you haven't saved it as something else, it's going to go away because we're all going to get the default new one-line grid. What you can do is if you've got a really nice one-line grid that's just the way you like it, if you save that with a custom name, you're going to be able to recover that in the new system. And I'm going to give you some instructions on how to do that. So really, there's only a couple of key things you need to be super worried about between now and the 19th. 1, make sure you put your listings in SFAR MLS right now. 2, if you have any listings that are in the reciprocal systems of Paragon or MLS listings, be ready to withdraw those and make sure you have a copy either already entered or be ready to enter a new version of it on the 20th in our system. And then make sure you don't lose any contacts, saved searches, client portal settings, anything that's high touch with your customer, your client, make sure you don't lose any of that information. And lastly, if you're doing searches, make sure you save your one-line grid with a custom name. And then just a few reminders, single sign-on will not be available after the launch, so you won't need it, but you also won't have it. So if you've saved anything from Paragon that you need to refer back to, you should consider making sure you have an offline copy of that. Either print it or make a PDF copy of it so that you can retain your access to that information if you feel you need it. And there's so much information in those systems that, I mean, I can't speak to everything you may have found there. Maybe there's an instruction sheet you like, or some information about a neighborhood or something that isn't only in MLS listings. Make sure you capture that and don't lose access to it. So again, there's going to be a blog post about this coming out in the next couple of days. But on Friday this week, we're going to be doing a really big communications push. And I'm going to be here speaking about the changes for the new system every time we do virtual broker tour. So I'll see you guys again next Tuesday, and I'll be doing some of this information with more. I'll be adding more as we go. But that's it. I see there's a couple of questions. Let's field those if we can from the chat window. So one question was about third-party apps. They will be able to search all of the data, not the day after launch, but in an ongoing process for a few months after launch. Each of the vendors will be making changes to their apps to start sharing all of the data. So yes, that is a goal, and that is on the roadmap. It is just not day one functionality. So if you use Real Scout right now, or maybe use Theo, you'll still only see some of the San Francisco data for the day after, but that data will increase over time until finally it encompasses everything. We're really excited about that. For saved searches, there's a good question here about saved searches, Betty. Make sure that any saved searches from reciprocal systems, you document those. The ones that are inside our system, the saved searches that are built right into SFARMLS, they will and should convert. Now I say will and should, because there are so many fields changing. We're going from about 830 fields to about 1,500 data fields. There's a lot of change. So if your saved search has something really custom in it, like 2 bedrooms, but not ones that have a pool or something like that, make sure you document all of your saved searches so that if you need to refer back to them or rebuild them, you have them available. Oh, and someone just texted me another question here. What's the exact time? So on the 19th, you should not expect to be able to get into the system after 5 o'clock. After 5 p.m. on the 19th, you won't be able to get in while the hamsters will be spinning wheels all night. We'll be working really hard to make sure we have everything ready for the morning. You should not expect to have access again until around 10 a.m. on the morning of the 20th. Now we're going to shoot for like 6 a.m. or 8 a.m., but I don't want anyone's expectations to get super blown up. So just expect that around 10 a.m. is the earliest you should expect to have like normal access. And when you get in, you're going to find out that it looks more or less the same as it does today. There's just so much more data. The reports have more data. The searches return all of the data. It's going to be a huge benefit for just not having to go to 10 places anymore. You can just enjoy staying in your home MLS, build all your client portals in one place, keep all your prospects in one place, and put all your listing data through in one place, single point of entry. This is real. All right, so that's all I have to say this morning. Mark, did you have any questions that you were thinking or anything you'd like to add to the end?
Actually, the only question I had, well, number one, Jay, thank you so much. I mean, it's game changer. This is going to be a game changer for a lot of agents. Well, for all agents, if they are taking advantage of it. But I had one other question, and that was, we had earlier, within the last few months, we talked about maybe not inputting any listings on the 19th.
Yes.
Is that still the advice?
Yeah, that's a really great thing to bring up. I wouldn't feel comfortable if I was an agent a new $1.3 million listing on the 19th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, knowing that hours from now, that entire system is going down. There's a final database conversion step. Like, I would just feel more comfortable talking to my seller and saying, look, we've got this great opportunity to put the listing in clean and fresh on the 20th.
Right.
And that's what I would recommend is I would start ramping down, putting listing data in even as early as the 14th, 15th. I would be, just considering whether or not that's the best avenue. But if you have to, I mean, we still have our rules on clear cooperation. So please do make sure that you still follow the rules. And if you put it in, we're going to convert it. Like, I'm 99.9% sure we'll get your listing fully converted. I just don't want anyone to get into trouble.
Yeah, totally.
But that's
no, it's great. And I think also this is a great opportunity for agents to go in and look at their saved searches and maybe clean up some of those prospect carts that have been there for the last 7 years that you aren't using anymore or don't need anymore or are full, or, you know, I think it's a great opportunity for agents to do some house cleaning in the MLS.
It's a great idea. I would go in and delete anything I wasn't, you know, using or critically needing.
Right.
I would remove those
Right.
folders and save searches for sure.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys
Great.
very much for your time this morning. As I said, I'll be back next Tuesday, and we've got a webinar that's going to be scheduled for next week. I think we're shooting for the end of the week. It looks like Friday. So you'll see some messaging about that. And don't, of course, forget about installation is this week. We're doing a cool online thing for installation. You know, we had to do an online member appreciation day. We're going to try something really cool here too for the installation. So we're excited about that. And then post installation, it's going to be just REC messaging about the new super regional system. So,
yeah, great. Yes, a good point, Jay. Thank you. You should have all received multiple emails actually about the installation, which is this Thursday at 4 p.m. It is a virtual installation. Our new president, Dan Hershkowitz, will be installed, as well as all of the board of directors. And there'll be some special guests. Some awards are going to be given away. You know, we're obviously going to miss being together in person for the installation, but it probably will save most of our livers. So
and lives
and potentially lives.
And potentially lives.
But if you haven't signed up for it, it's free also this year, which is another change, because if we were in person, we would all be paying for dinner and drinks and all that stuff. So I encourage everybody to sign up. I think it's an hour and a half, if I'm not mistaken, and there'll be a little after party, and Genevieve just put it in the chat window. So she just put the link to sign up, and I'm sure that they will be sending out links for everybody to log on to the platform, whatever it is. I don't even know what it is yet. So, but I will see you all there Thursday as well. So I hope you guys do come in. Jay, thank you so much for your time as always.
Take care, guys. I'm going to drop off because I do have to go back to another meeting.
I know. Yep. Take care.
Bye.
Great.